Gotta keep up with me mentally. What is good, GBO crew? It is your girl back with another video. I do not even know if that is my intro for this podcast. I think it goes something like, welcome back to another episode of the TalkToMeNice podcast. Yeah, that sounds about right. As you can see, for today's topic, we're going to be talking about lessons learned in 2021. If you guys don't already know, I asked you on Instagram for you guys to send in the lessons you learned this year as well. You guys chimed in and sent in some heat, if I say so myself. But before we get into today's topic, I need you to click the link to my description box and also hit that subscribe button as well. With no further ado, let's just get right into this topic. Welcome back to an episode of the Talk to Me Nice podcast. I'm laughing because I'm literally the worst podcast host in the universe. I mean, let's just say what it is. I had someone ask me the other day, they were like, how did I not know you had a podcast? And I literally told them straight up, it's because I'm the worst host ever at keeping up with it. I'm literally one person. I edit all my videos myself, so sometimes when things pick up during the year and a lot of artists are dropping music, my primary focus does become the reviews, and I think one of the only ways I'd be able to keep up with the podcast on a more consistent basis is if I had someone to edit these videos. They aren't very hard to edit at all. It's probably one of the simplest things for me to edit, to be honest, but you know what, we'll figure that out along the way. But look, we here because, you know, every year for the 12-month series, I give you guys a podcast episode, and I really like what I did last year by having a video where I just talk about kind of the lessons I've learned, and having you guys chime in is always so great because you guys always send in some really great stuff, and this year was no different. I have no notes for this, really. I just have like the lessons I've learned, and of course you guys' lessons as well on my phone. But I really do not remember my segments. I think I had like 2 segments that I started this year when I started doing like 1 episode a month. And I think around March or April, that's when I pretty much failed at that commitment because it just got really busy. I think I did have a segment called What Are You Watching, which pretty much is a segment where I talk about like what I'm watching on TV, Netflix, TV shows, and all that type of stuff. And most recently, the show I finished was BMF. Me and my best friend watched that together. She had already seen it, but I was kind of late to the party. I finally got stars since they were having like a little special. And I wasn't shocked that I liked it, but I think the character that I really was taken with the most was obviously Lamar, played by Eric Kofi Abrifa. He's an actor from the UK, and I'm gonna tell you guys something. These UK actors, they are just killing it, man. I love it. That was such like an amazing performance by him. I cannot wait to see him in more stuff over here. But BMF is, I think for our first season, it was very solid. I'm not surprised that I guess that it got renewed so quickly. I mean, I was kind of surprised. I think it got renewed for the 2nd season, like after like the 3rd episode, which I don't know if that's like higher powers above, but nonetheless, I'm excited to see where the storyline goes. I was really impressed with Miles Truitt's character as well. I would love to see him in like a rom-com or something. He just gives off like really adorable boyfriend energy, but I only say that because the role he played with his love interest Kato, he was very sweet and caring, like I guess as much as like a drug dealer could be. But B. Mickey was I feel like he's a complex character. I feel like he was very sweet. He was very loyal, pretty much you could say to the death. Probably one of the wildest endings, I guess, to a love story on screen I've probably seen in a while, but nonetheless, he played the character very well. I plan on starting Insecure when it ends because I want to binge it. I started off watching Insecure by binging it, so I'm kind of going to follow through with that. I feel like I had a segment where I talked about music because, duh, like I'm a singer and I talk about music all the time on the channel. But before I got ready, or while I was getting ready to record this episode, I was singing Deflect by John Vinyl. And I don't know, for some reason that song's just it's just sticking with me right now. Guess I'm deflecting the truth of the matter. No, I'm still unsure if I'm in or out of love. Oh, picking up petals, my heart smelling weathered. Feel like I can't decide. I'm still unsure if I'm in or out of love. Oh, oh, oh. Okay, that's enough. You guys got a free cover and a podcast episode during the 12-month series. Please stop playing with me. All right. I hope you guys are having a great Christmas Eve. It is currently, what day is it? It is December 15th. I actually have to go back to work. Like, I'm working overtime. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to lie to you guys. That holiday pay for overtime be kind of nice. I'm not going to hold you. Nonetheless, the topic for today is lessons learned in 2021. But I want to start off with this quote from a book that I was reading today, because overthinking is something that I've always struggled with. I am a professional overthinker, and I have kind of made a vow to myself to do better, to live in the moment. And it's kind of hard to do since I'm a very precarious planner. Like, I like to plan things out. I like to be prepared. There isn't anything necessarily wrong with that, but I think sometimes it hinders me from really enjoying the moment I am in right now. But I was reading a book by Elle Wright. There's this quote she had in there. She said, "The problem with overthinking is people tend to live their lives based on what could happen as opposed to enjoying what is happening." When I tell you, I was shook. I was like, let me remember this when I start overthinking too much. But one of the lessons that I learned for 2021 is to not be so scared to create your own opportunities. For example, most of you guys know I got the absolute pleasure, the absolute honor to interview James Vickery. That was the first interview I've ever done. And it was kind of like a full circle moment for me as well, because if I had went to college, I haven't really talked about this at all, but if I had gone to college, I would have majored in broadcast journalism. That's something I was really into. I was probably going to do it for sports at the time, since I was an athlete in high school as well. Getting to do that interview with James kind of felt like me reliving, or finally getting to live out that, I don't know, I guess dream of kind of what it would look like if I got to do that full time. And I would be satisfied with that. Creating full time in any capacity that has to do with music or content creating is my goal. But yeah, creating opportunities for yourself. I say that in reference to the James Vickery interview, because all that came down to was me simply asking James, hey, I know you are going to send me the album early, and I was wondering if, like, you know, after I get in listening to it, if you have a few moments to talk about it on live with me. I think it'd be cool for GVO crew to see, and he was totally down for it. All I had to do was book it through his manager, and boom, I was interviewing James Vickery like a week later after he sent me the album early, which was crazy. I've never had an artist, like a professional recording artist, send me their work early. So that was a huge honor. That's one of my highlights. It's one of my biggest flexes from this year. So it really gave me more confidence to start doing more of that. I want to start doing more interviews because I feel like I offer a very interesting perspective, being that I am a musician as well. I sing and I write, and so when I do reviews, that's why they're so in-depth the way they are, and I feel like artists, James told me himself, they really appreciate that, the perspective I offer. So that's one thing I want to try and do 2022, do more interviews, get more FaceTime with these artists that I really just admire. So yeah, do not be scared to create your own opportunities, because I was terrified. And in my head, I just kept telling myself the worst he can say is no, or that he doesn't have time. I mean, like, his debut album is coming out. I know release and press week is crazy. It was so much fun. You guys can go and watch the interview on the brand page on Gap Visuals Only on the Instagram. And I ended up talking to him way longer than I had planned. I didn't know how much time James had, but it just felt like I was talking to one of my really good friends. So it just taught me in general just to bet on myself more. And, you know, not every opportunity is going to land in your lap. There are some things that you can create yourself. Create those opportunities yourself if you can. So that was really special to me. Also, since I did ask you guys what are some of the lessons you learned in 2021, tell me, what is your biggest flex this year as well. Let's get into the absolute tea, the absolute read of it all, okay? You guys sent me in your lessons that you learned this year. First of all, I posted this like 8, 9 in the morning, and I was like, oh my goodness, why are they reading me? I feel seen right now. My good friend Jahari, he said, don't expect yourself out of other people. You'll only disappoint yourself every time. When I tell you I had such a visceral reaction to this, I was like, this is something that I at times still struggle with. I had to remind myself, like, hey, Samaya, not everyone moves the way you move. Not everyone is going to conduct themselves in the same manner that you do. So stop expecting that out of people, because you disappoint yourself. And I have been disappointed plenty of times when people did not do something that I would have done. You know what I mean? And And it's not saying that you can't hold people to a higher standard. I think the people that we consider family and friends and, people we're close to, we do hold them to a certain standard to act accordingly, to act a certain way. But there are going to be times as humans where they disappoint us, and we are going to disappoint the people. We're going to let people down. So it's important to keep people off these really high pedestals. You know what I mean? Obviously not saying in any way that you tolerate disrespect. Okay, not that, because we don't play that in this house. Okay, if you got to get somebody all the way together, you better do that. But more so just like, you can't always expect people to react the way you would have reacted, make the decisions you would have made. You just have to really accept people for who they are. I mean, when somebody shows you who they are, at the end of the day, you gotta accept it for what it is so that you don't have that disappointment. Also, if you're wondering if you're tripping or if it's the lighting, it's not. I actually did dye my hair. It's been a week now. I'm one of those people where I don't really do New Year's resolutions. If I'm going to do something, I start planning for it early. So any type of resolutions I want to put into play for the new year, I start doing in November. Dyeing my hair has been something I've been wanting to do for the last 2 years. So you're not tripping. My hair is this auburn brown chestnut color. So the next lesson that someone sent in, Robin said, when you set silent expectations on a person, examples like a peer or a partner, spouse, etc., you'll be disappointed and you'll think they owe you so much better, when really, if they don't know, they won't think otherwise. Be open and upfront with people around you. Closed mouths don't get fed. We place these silent expectations on people without just being upfront about what we want or what we need. Ultimately, we're just hurting ourselves. And it really is such a tough lesson to grasp. And even though it sounds simple, okay, do not place people on such a high pedestal, it's not that easy. It's much easier said than done, especially with people, that you value their opinion, you care about them a lot, you love them, you expect certain behavior out of people. You have expectations. We all have expectations for people in our lives. I guess reevaluate sometimes. Don't over-exaggerate your position in someone's life. I've done that before, and got my little feelings hurt a little time or two. I ain't gonna lie, you know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna cap. It happens, but yeah, silent expectations are never good for anyone. If you need something, there's something you need from somebody, just be upfront, because if they don't know, they won't think otherwise. And another one someone sent in is that if you can't buy it twice, you can't afford it. And even though this sounds kind of funny, I think this is actually a pretty good rule of thumb to have. If you're thinking about splurging or something, or you're thinking about I don't know, just getting something you've been thinking about for a while. And it's really not in the budget for you to have it right now. If you can't buy it twice, maybe we should chill out on it. But every once in a while we be swiping the card or something. We be doing a little PayPal, a little Cash App, you feel me? Next, someone said, a lot of stressful things we face every day oftentimes don't deserve our stress. This one right here, this is something that I've tried to put into practice a few years ago. I would say I'm a sensitive person. I just don't show it. I'm one of those people, if I'm angry, you're probably not gonna know I'm angry. I'm just silent. I'm gonna peep it, and I'm just gonna move accordingly. But I've realized that not everything deserves a reaction from me. Not everything deserves my energy. And once again, that is another lesson that is so hard to grasp, and it's so hard to master. But once you do, it feels like a weight will be lifted off of you. And I just realized it is okay for me to be upset of something, for me to, feel a certain way about it. But once I peep it, I have my time to be in my feels about it, then I got to move on. So I'm not saying completely ignore all your anger and all your sadness and things like that, or even things that are stressing you out, because stress sometimes is not always a bad thing. If you're stressed out about something like a project or something you're passionate about, that means you care. At the end of the day, you want it to be as good as it possibly can be. But there are some things in life that we allow to stress ourselves out, and we don't need the extra stress. So pretty much relocating your energy into the right things and knowing what deserves to have what deserves that energy. And I feel like the same thing can be said about people in your life. Not everyone deserves access to you. Not everyone deserves access to you and your innermost thoughts. Not everyone can be your best friend. I just realized not everyone deserves my energy. It's okay to be nice to people, be kind to everyone you meet, obviously. But there are some people that you can't allow to have such available access to you, because some people just do not have your best interest at heart, and some people only want that type of access to you so it can benefit them in some way. So be very selective with your energy and be very selective with who you put your energy into. And the last one, someone sent in, Mystic said, conserving energy for myself. And I feel like, honestly, the order that these were sent in were so perfect. Like, you guys were like, did y'all get together? Was y'all like in a little group chat? Like, hey, we about to make this TalkToMeNice podcast like so seamless. We gonna make somebody just have like the perfect segues for each thing. Like, did y'all do that? Cause yeah, okay. Anyways, but no, conserving energy for yourself is so important. And that reminded me of a song from an album that I reviewed on the channel. On Neo's album, And Then Life Was Beautiful, she has this song called Little Giants, where she pretty much talks about how she's poured all this energy into someone and they pretty much do not reciprocate it. And it's important that at the end of the day, make sure you have enough room to do what you need to do for yourself so that you can offer more to people. It's really hard to give and give and give to others if you have nothing left to give to yourself. And I think sometimes if you tell someone like, hey, I'm taking time for myself, I'm focusing on me, sometimes they may get offended, but what people don't realize is that when you take the time to heal, when you take the time to learn about yourself, when you take the time to build yourself up, you are able to give so much more the next time somebody else asks. So that's why I always say, take that time for yourself, do what you need to do, especially if you're a giver. Once again, be selective with who you're giving to, but don't take so much trying to give so much away. Like, don't take so much from yourself trying to give something away to somebody else. You know what I mean? Especially if there's somebody that they're not taking the time to even build themselves up. You know what I mean? Conserve energy for yourself. Save a little love for yourself. Save more than a little love for yourself, man, because you need it. You know, you guys already know how it goes. No one got you like you got you. You feel me? You might want to check that out on Spotify. It's by me. It's by your girl. But yeah, that I think is gonna be it for this episode of the TalkToMeNice podcast. I will try to do better next time. This is it. This is my one go. That was my goal to film this in one go. It feels good just to get up on here and just talk to you guys. And I hope you have enjoyed this final installment of the 12 More Days series for 2021. I love you guys. I appreciate you so much. Also, my snapshot for 2021 on YouTube. Thank you guys so much. I had like 76.8K views in total this year. My watch time was like 295.6K. So I just really appreciate you guys and thank you for just sticking with me this year. And I really appreciate you guys for making this year so special, and I can't wait to do it all again in, what is it gonna be? I can't wait to do it all again in 2022. So please sure to hit that like button and be sure to subscribe. Whatever you do, not forget to click that bell so that you get notified every single time that I post. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you next time with another video.